Hello, everybody. Some of you don't know me. I feel like I know most of you. My name is Diane, and Abby, I call her Abby. I know most of you know as Annette. She's what I like to call heart family. We were not related by blood, but our hearts didn't know the difference. So Todd has asked me today to do a service in her honor, and I'm very, very proud to do that. We want to start out, her brother-in-law Miller is going to speak to us, and then Melissa has some words from Rob, and then I have a tribute that I would like to do for Annette.
I didn't know what he was getting into when he asked me to do this, and I strongly suggested that we check everybody for eggs and tomatoes before you come in. So I'm not a public speaker, but I'm going to try to get through this. I met Annette, I guess about the same time I met Mary, and we've had some good times. I had an operation that put me in the hospital for a week, and when I came out of the hospital, Mary was picking me up. I got down there was Annette. She stayed with us, what, a week or 2 weeks to try to help take care of me. So we've had a good relationship. But I look at funerals, services like this as not for the departed, but for the ones that are left. And people need comfort. And for that, I've chosen to talk about the 23rd Psalm, which a lot of people use because it does have that comfort built into it. Just a little background. It was written by David. David was a shepherd. He was chosen by God, anointed by Samuel, and he was to be king of Israel. This is the same David that took on Goliath, and he was able to do that because he knew that God was there to take care of him. And he was like a shepherd. Shepherd takes care of the flock. Well, we're part of God's flock. So with that, I'd like to get into this. I'm going to kind of try to break down the 23rd Psalm if I can. And it goes like this: the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside white waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Truly, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now, to break that down just a little bit, the Lord is my shepherd. He is a shepherd, yes, but we have a one-on-one relationship with him. He looks after us as part of his flock. We're not just a number in the flock. We are individuals in that flock. I shall not want. That's the source for your needs. Your shepherd supplies those needs for you. And when I say needs, I didn't say wants, I said needs. And God will provide if you give him that opportunity. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. That's contentment, plenty of rest. Green pastures, not dead pastures, not dead grass, but green grass for us. He leadeth me beside still waters. It's cool, refreshing, peaceful. He restoreth my soul. That's a provision for revitalization and healing. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness. That's leadership and guidance that he provides. For his name's sake, that gives a high purpose for life. Truly, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, that gets us through some of the darkest times, including death. For thou art with me. There's the shepherd again, looking out, looking over us, taking care of us. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. That's support from God and hope in times of danger. Thou anointest my head with oil. That's care, dedication. My cup runneth over. There's abundance flowing to you and out to people who you know and who need it. Surely goodness, mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. That's a blessing of power and grace through faith, remembering God is love, not just words. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord. That's a home and security of being with the Lord in heaven forever. That means now, always, and eternity. And with that, I just say, rest in peace, Annette.
Okay, as you all know, Robbie cannot be here today, so on his behalf, I'm going to read this letter that he emailed last night. How do we say goodbye? How do we say goodbye to someone that has always been there? She has always been there for us. If you were sick, she stayed there until you got better, or you threw her out. She always had a way to make you eat. No, Mom, I don't feel good, she would say. I know now, and you won't feel better if you don't eat this. She would irritate you until you at least tried some of it. It is my understanding that towards the end, Mimi and Todd got some get back on that. I think we all know Mom redefined the word stubborn. They are adding her name to the definition in Webster's all over the world this week. She fought all the way to the end. She loved her family, and to her, her family was worth fighting for. It's not going to be the same listening to stories of her childhood about Papa, Nanny, Uncle Bill, and Mimi without Mom there. No one could tell those stories better than she could. She had a special relationship with her brother and sister. She used to laugh and tell the story of how her and Dory dressing up Uncle Bill up like a little girl and how funny that was until Papa caught them. It became very unfunny then, and she would imitate my grandfather better than anyone with his stern looks and short delivery of the words that you did listen to. Was that necessary? And the story when Nanny stacked the refrigerator up with food, as she regularly did, and he went in to get some steak sauce, and everything spilled all over his shirt and all over the floor. He then quietly proceeded back to his chair and sat down and continued to eat, soaked from the food and liquid that had spilled all over him. Nanny came in and asked him, could she get him some sauce, and he just said, hell, it ain't worth it. I can see my mom telling that story and saying, and you didn't laugh, and you never laughed. And she made sure we stayed close to our family. We were required to call our grandmother often and spend time with her on the phone, even when we were no longer living at home. She made sure we continued to do that and get up there to see her as much as possible. She led by example with that, and as I can't remember too many days that went by where she didn't spend literally hours on the phone with Nanny. There were times when they shut her phone off due to the bill being so high from that. She didn't care that her mother, and that was her mother, and she made sure she was okay. I know that to this day, Todd and I are still grateful that she instilled this in us. I don't think there are many things in Mom's life that she valued over all of us being together. Having Thanksgiving at Uncle Bill's was a special time for her because everyone was there. That's when we would sit around the table after dinner and tell stories. She never missed a Christmas at my house either. We always found a way to be together for the holidays. To say she was overprotective was an understatement. In her mind, could do no wrong, or they could do no wrong. I could be in prison for murder one, and she would tell you I was convicted for running the stop sign. She was the same with Todd. I would have to ask him what was going on when he was in trouble or had a problem because Mom wouldn't even tell me. But that's not how it was supposed to be, but that's the way she did it. Almost 12 years ago, something happened in my mom's life that redirected and really changed her life. Her grandchild was born. My Lord, everybody get out of her way because she has a grandchild. Nicole became the new light of her life, and she rolled her under her protective wing, just like she did me and Todd, but to an even greater degree. I had to be careful as to what I said to my own daughter with her around for fear that I would immediately be reprimanded. She would come over on Saturday morning, blow by me at the front door, and say, "Where's my